Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Murray, and this past weekend I flew out to Raleigh, North Carolina to play in the Ultimate Duelist Series. I played in both days. Day one, I got trashed. I was like X2 by round three. But day two, I ended up winning the whole thing. I locked in, and yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a very good weekend for me. Um, it didn't hit me. It didn't hit me that I won until like yesterday. So yeah, I mean it's a good feeling. Everyone congratulated me. But yeah, I wanted to do the deck profile today. While the event is still fresh in people's minds. But yeah, I played Glads. So we'll go ahead and get right to it. We have three uh, Test Tiger, one Cat, and two Prisma. These are the cards that let Glads do a lot of unfair and unreasonable things. I am also back on the Prisma train. I think the way the format is now, um, in order to do well, you have to have just cards in your deck that enable just really unfair and unreasonable plays. And I think Cat Prisma does that. I also think Stratos is like crazy. It's the normal summon that does the most with like the least commitment. Um, but yeah, card's crazy. So we'll go ahead and get those out of the way. For the Glad lineup, it's two Laquari, two Darius. I like two Darius in my build. I like my Prisma Tiger plays to always be live. And I would hate to lose out on Geyser's Axis because I didn't have Darius in my deck. Um, a perfect example of where double Darius comes up. It came up game one in the finals. Um, I had a Darius already gone, and my opponent had a board of like Magical Android plus Shura, the Blue Flame. And because I had two Darius in my deck, I was able to Geyserist that board, end on Herc, and close out the game. Whereas no other line would have accomplished that. Also, you know, in my round seven feature match against my buddy Crank, you know, he lost because he didn't have two Darius. Um, so basically, I had a board of double Aquari plus Trapstun set, a pretty good board in the mirror, and he had a Darius and Grave. And I knew about Prisma in hand. So for turn, he top decks Test Tiger. If he had the second Darius in deck, I wouldn't be sitting here today going over the deck profile. We'll just leave it at that. But yeah, it comes up. Also, 17 is a really good stat line for the format. Two Sam Knight, same thing. I like my cat plays to always be live. And one Quest. So one Quest it's not normal. I think people are just so used to it that they don't really question why two-week quest is needed. So in this build, the two Darius and two Sam Knight were way more important. I think you don't get punished the same way for not playing the second quest, the same way you get punished for not playing two Darius or two Sam Knight. You sometimes outright lose because you don't play the second copy of either of these. Whereas the missing the second quest, it's never a big enough deal to where you outright lose. Um, that's the way I saw it. And another thing is that and the reason why I'm not playing like two, and two is because I had to really be mindful about my monster count and how high I was bringing my normal summon count to. That's why I'm not playing two, and two. But yeah, the basically winning quest was fine. I honestly never missed it. one Bestiari, Red Tiari, Marmello, and Secutor. Yeah, that's pretty normal. For the spell lineup, we're on 3 Book of Moon, Rhoda. Rhoda was crazy. It just feels really nice to open with Rhoda, going first or second. Smashing Ground, Shrink. I like them as one outs. That's all I really need, I feel like. One Heavy Storm, and one Cold Wave. Cold Wave was ridiculous. It was ridiculous in my finals match. It was ridiculous in my other feature match. It was ridiculous the whole weekend. Even the day I didn't do so hot. Um, it just it lets you just do a lot. Again, it's very sacky, the card. It just lets you go Geyserus, Prisma Tiger, Cat, unopposed. Um, and a good point that my buddy Jake said is that it helps with the all monster hands because like you open a bunch of monsters, you cold wave them, do your thing, and their crackback because their crackback is monster based. Um, Now when the turn passes back to you, again you can continue clapping back without being opposed by spawn traps. So that's kind of how I see it. And then 2 Trapstun. The Cold Wave was played over the 3rd copy of Trapstun because I felt people were going to be more ready for it with like 7 Tools, Book of Moons. Cold Wave just negates all of that. But obviously you still play Trapstun because cards um, pretty good. And then for the rest of the trap lineup, it's triple D Prison. I will not play any less than 3. I think 3 is an auto staple in this deck. I know some builds that have done well only play 2. I can't bring myself to do that. 2 Chariot, 2 Bottomless, 2 Compulsories, and then a bunch of really good trap cards that are at 1. The 1 Starlight Road, and the final card is Waboku. So this deck is 44 cards. That's the thing that stands out the most. It's 44 cards and the Waboku. The reason why it's 44 cards is because to me, when it comes to building Glads, I care not so much about the deck size, but the ratios in that deck. For example, my rule of thumb when building Glads is I want my normal summon count to always be a third of my total deck size. So here I'm playing 44 cards. A third of that is roughly 15, right? So 15 normal summons. Well, technically 15 and a half because I count Secutor as a half a normal summon. So it's 15.5, 44 cards total. That's roughly 1/3. That's the rate. That's the ratio I like. And the deck was drawing like smoothly all weekend. I think I only drew like monster flooded once. Um, but that's it. Like it's gonna happen at least once. But otherwise, it was drawing like amazingly all weekend. Now for Waboku, real quickly, I like Waboku in Glads. I think Waboku is a very playable card. I just never liked it in multiples. I don't think Waboku plays well in multiples. But as a one of, I think it's solid. It's very serviceable. It adds a bit of extra unpredictability to your back rows. So I like Waboku as something in my deck that exists, but I don't want to like lean too heavily into it. That's the main deck. Again, 44 cards. It works. So for the side deck, we have the 2nd Red Tiari. We side this in against specifically stuff like Lightsworn and Frogs, where you specifically want multiples of this kind of effect. 2 Cyber Dragon, 1 Consecrated. So this card, going back to Wabaku, right? It's I like that it exists in my deck. I just don't want to, lean heavily into it. Um, I think Consecrated is the cherry on top with my Blackwing. When it comes to my Blackwing sideboard pattern, I don't like multiples because you run into the issues of increasing your normal swimming count, which I'm already very picky about. But as a one of, it's fine. And then I play 1 Gores. I side deck Gores. I felt for this weekend it wouldn't be as good as maining the Starlight Road. And but yeah, I side the Gores mostly for the matchups where I don't think Starlight Road is very good into. I can just swap the 2. 1 DD Crow. DD Crow is a all right card, but that's it. It's just all right. It was mostly in here as like filler, as something that I could side in versus decks I maybe wasn't like too prepared for, or like combo deck, like Giga Plant, all that stuff. Um, it's cuttable for sure. I just played it as like a 15th slot in my side deck. Brain Control. I think this is the first time I side Brain Control. Because the mirror match is officially something you have to um, consider at every event. It just made sense to like side the sackiest card in the mirror. Another Smashing Ground. I like multiples of this into Blackwing. You kill the Blackwing monster, play around Kalut, play around Icarus Attack. It works. 1 MST. I don't main it, so I side it specifically for Blackwing, given their Black Whirlwinds, Royal Oppressions. The 3rd Trapstone, a 3rd Compulsory, a 3rd War Chariot. I would never main deck three of any of these, but I like to bring them into certain matchups. And then 3 Trap Hole because fuck Blackwing. And that's the side deck. And then the extra deck, real quickly, we'll get that out of the way. We have 3 Geyserus, 3 Herc. Herc, ironic, right? The card that won me the tournament is on the playmat, so that's funny. 3 Gaio Diaz. He's the 3rd child. You don't want to leave him out. You gotta include him. I can't make the card, but I thought it'd be funny. 3 Chimera Tech and 3 Stardust, and that's the deck. So yeah, amazing weekend. It's been a long time coming, and yeah, I'll for sure. This was probably the best event I've been to, or one of the best events I've been to. Second to like Orlando a few years back. Yeah, that was an amazing event. I will be going to more of these, possibly Las Vegas. That it's still a few months away for me to plan. Who knows? I mean, I'm definitely gonna chase this high and be at more events playing this deck. So yeah, I mean, hopefully I got everything. Hopefully I explained everything properly. If you have questions, just let me know in the comments. I'll respond to them, and I'll see y'all later. Thanks.